Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, but the drop below you is not air, it is water, endless, dark, and unimaginably heavy. We often look up at the stars, wondering what lies in the infinite void of space. But there is an alien world right here on Earth, hidden beneath crushing waves. A place so remote that more people have walked on the surface of the moon than have visited its absolute bottom. Welcome to the Mariana Trench. Close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath. Let the noise and stress of the surface world fade away. We are about to descend into the ultimate abyss. Prepare to sink into a realm of eternal night, where the impossible becomes reality, and the deep blue silence washes away all your earthly worries. To understand the sheer magnitude of our destination, we must first turn back the clock. Millions of years ago, two massive pieces of the Earth's crust, the Pacific Plate and the smaller Mariana Plate, collided in a slow, silent dance. The heavier Pacific Plate was forced downward, tearing a crescent-shaped scar deep into the ocean floor. This geological phenomenon, known as a subduction zone, birthed the Mariana Trench. Located in the western Pacific Ocean, this colossal chasm stretches for over 1,500 miles. But it is not the length that captures human imagination. It is the staggering depth. The lowest point, known as the Challenger Deep, plunges nearly 7 miles beneath the ocean's surface. That is nearly 11,000 meters down. If you were to take Mount Everest and place it at the very bottom, its peak would still be hidden under more than a mile of water. It is a place of absolute extremes. Freezing temperatures, total darkness, and a pressure so immense it defies comprehension. Yet, as we are about to discover, this abyss is not an empty tomb. It is a hidden sanctuary of life. Our descent begins. The sunlight slowly fades. As we slip beneath the rolling waves, the bright, warm blue of the surface gives way to a deeper, cooler azure. This is the epipelagic zone, the sunlit surface where most ocean life thrives. But we are not staying here. We are leaving the familiar behind. Think of this as the launch pad for our journey into inner space. The water embraces us, and the chaos of the world above simply disappears. We enter the twilight zone, the mesopelagic zone. Here, the light struggles to survive. The vibrant blues shift into muted grays and deep indigos. Imagine looking out of a spacecraft window as you leave Earth's orbit. The darkness begins to take over. In this dim world, shadows move with grace. We see the faint silhouettes of creatures perfectly adapted to the gloom. It is a quiet transition, preparing our minds for the true depths below. Welcome to the Midnight Zone, the bathypelagic zone. We have crossed the threshold where no sunlight can ever reach. It is a world of permanent, absolute night. But it is far from empty. In the total darkness, the ocean lights up with biological stars, bioluminescence. Imagine floating through a galaxy of tiny, glowing blue and green lights. Creatures here create their own light to hunt, hide, and communicate. It is an underwater Milky Way, glowing gently in the dark. We must go deeper still. We now enter the abyssal zone. The abyss. The water here is near freezing, and the pressure is building with every meter we drop. Let us clear up a common myth. Many believe the deep ocean is entirely devoid of life because of this pressure. But life finds a way. Here, creatures lack swim bladders. Their bodies are made of gelatinous tissues that cannot be crushed. They glide through the dark like ghostly spirits, undisturbed by the weight of the world above. Now, we reach the edge of the true unknown, the Hadal Zone. Named after Hades, the Greek underworld, this zone exists only deep within oceanic trenches. We are now falling into the Mariana Trench itself. The walls of the trench rise up around us, towering underwater cliffs that dwarf the tallest skyscrapers. The sheer scale of this geological cathedral makes us realize how small, yet how connected, we are to this magnificent planet. Let us explore the weight of the water. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the pressure is over 1,000 times the standard atmospheric pressure at sea level. Imagine the weight of 50 jumbo jets resting on a single person. It seems impossible to survive. Yet, biological marvels exist here. A great example is the use of specialized molecules called piezolites. These act like microscopic support beams, preventing the proteins of deep-sea creatures from collapsing under the crushing weight. Who dared to first visit this alien world? In 1960, two brave explorers, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh, boarded the bathyscaphe Trieste, a tiny metal sphere designed to withstand the impossible. Their descent took nearly 5 hours. 5 hours of sinking into the unknown. When they finally touched the bottom, they stirred up a cloud of white sediment, and in that brief moment, they saw something miraculous. A flatfish swimming in the abyss, proof that life exists at the very bottom of the world. Decades later, another pioneer returned. In 2012, filmmaker James Cameron made a solo descent in the Deep-Sea Challenger. He described the bottom as lunar, a desolate, pale, alien landscape. Just like an astronaut stepping onto the moon, he felt the profound isolation of the deep. There is a deep peace in this isolation, far away from emails, traffic, and the rush of time. Down here, time stands still. Only the slow drift of ocean currents marks the passing of centuries. But what lies in the sediment? Let us examine the microscopic world. Down here we find foraminifera, giant, single-celled organisms. Some known as xenophyophores can grow to the size of a human fist. Imagine a single cell, as large as a baseball, thriving where nothing else should survive. They are the silent architects of the deep, building delicate, intricate shells from sand and debris, a masterpiece of nature's design, hidden away in the dark. Let us talk about the ghosts of the abyss. The Mariana snailfish. This is the deepest living fish ever discovered, found at depths of over 8,000 meters. It does not look like a monster. In fact, it looks incredibly fragile. It is translucent, pale pink, with a tadpole-like shape. It glides effortlessly, a gentle spirit of the trench. It reminds us that strength in nature is not always about armor and teeth. Sometimes, true strength is about perfect adaptation. There is a persistent myth we must unravel. The myth of the megalodon. Many rumors suggest that giant prehistoric sharks hide deep within the Mariana Trench, but this is purely fiction. The deep trench lacks the immense food supply required to sustain such massive predators. Furthermore, sharks cannot survive the crushing pressure of the Hadal Zone. The real monsters of the deep are microscopic, bizarre, and far more fascinating than any Hollywood fiction. We drift deeper along the trench walls. Suddenly, a plume of dark, mineral-rich water erupts from the sea floor. These are hydrothermal vents, black smokers. They look like underwater volcanoes spewing thick black smoke, but it is not smoke. It is superheated water, rich in iron and sulfur, shooting out from the Earth's crust. It is a direct connection to the fiery heart of our planet, warming the icy abyss. Around these vents, a miracle occurs, an entirely different tree of life. On the surface, all life depends on the sun, photosynthesis. But down here, there is no sun. Instead, we have chemosynthesis. Bacteria convert the toxic chemicals from the vents into energy. They form the base of a food chain completely disconnected from the world of light. It is an alien ecosystem, much like the one scientists hope to find on Jupiter's moon, Europa. The architecture of the trench is breathtaking. We discover the champagne vent, a unique hydrothermal vent that bubbles continuously. But these are not bubbles of air. They are droplets of liquid carbon dioxide. It is the only known underwater area in the world where liquid carbon dioxide exists naturally. It looks like a slow-motion glass of champagne pouring upward in the dark, a mesmerizing, hypnotic display of chemistry and physics. Even in this remote paradise, the surface leaves its mark. A sobering reality must be acknowledged. Expeditions to the bottom of the Mariana Trench have found something that does not belong. a plastic bag. Microplastics. Even at 11,000 meters deep, our human footprint is visible. It is a gentle reminder. We are intimately connected to every corner of this earth, no matter how distant. Our actions echo in the deepest chambers of the ocean. The geology of the trench is constantly shifting. This is a region of immense tectonic activity. Subduction zones are the birthplace of earthquakes. As the Pacific Plate grinds beneath the Mariana Plate, pressure builds over thousands of years until it snaps. The silent abyss trembles. Yet, the creatures here are undisturbed. They have lived through countless earth-shattering moments. They teach us resilience, to remain calm and fluid even when the foundations of the world shake. Let us marvel at the scavengers of the deep. Amphipods, tiny shrimp-like crustaceans. While surface amphipods are tiny, the ones in the Mariana Trench exhibit deep-sea gigantism. They can grow up to a foot long. They are the ultimate recyclers. When a whale dies on the surface, its body slowly falls into the abyss, a phenomenon called whale fall. These amphipods clean the ocean floor, ensuring nothing goes to waste, a perfect, balanced circle of life. Why do we compare this to outer space? The parallels are striking. To survive here, humans need vehicles built like spacecraft. Spheres of thick titanium, scrubbers for carbon dioxide, and life support systems. The environment is just as hostile to human biology as the vacuum of space. Exploring the deep ocean is essentially space exploration, but directed inward. It is the exploration of Earth's inner space. NASA and other space agencies know this well. They often use the deep ocean to test equipment meant for other planets. Before a rover goes to Mars, or a submarine is designed for the icy oceans of Enceladus, it must first survive the deep waters of Earth. The Mariana Trench is our planetary laboratory, a training ground for the stars. When you look at the deep ocean, you are looking at the future of space travel. Imagine the sensation of weightlessness. Down here, buoyancy creates a zero-gravity environment. The deep-sea submersibles hover effortlessly, much like a satellite orbiting a planet. If you were inside, you would feel a profound sense of floating. Let your mind embrace that feeling. Imagine yourself suspended in a thick, supportive fluid. Gravity has no hold on you here. You are completely free, drifting in the dark, peaceful void. There is a profound sense of mystery in the unexplored. We have mapped the entire surface of Mars in high resolution, yet over 80% of our own ocean floor remains unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored. The Mariana Trench holds secrets we cannot even fathom. New species, new geological formations, perhaps even new medicines waiting in the genetic code of deep-sea extremophiles. The unknown is not something to fear, it is something to dream about. But what lies beyond the Challenger Deep? There are other profound depressions within the trench. The Serena Deep, for example, is the second deepest point. Discovered entirely by sonar, it remains shrouded in mystery. Every peak and valley of this underwater mountain range tells a story of the Earth's creation. It is a landscape painted in sound, mapped by the echoes of acoustic pulses bouncing off the bottom of the world. Let us consider the colors of the deep. As we descended, red light was the first to disappear, absorbed by the water. Therefore, many deep-sea creatures are entirely red. In the blackness of the bathypelagic and hadal zones, being red is the same as being invisible. It is a brilliant evolutionary trick, nature's ultimate cloaking device, a beautiful illusion that allows them to hide in plain sight. The geometry of deep-sea life is truly alien. We find jellyfish with translucent, bell-shaped bodies that pulse rhythmically, comb jellies that refract bioluminescence like tiny, swimming prisms. Their movements are hypnotic, methodical, and incredibly soothing to watch. They do not swim, they dance. A slow, elegant ballet, choreographed by the currents. Watching them is like watching the steady breath of the ocean itself. Deep-sea gigantism remains a fascinating puzzle. Why do some creatures grow so large down here? The Japanese spider crab, found in deep waters, can have a leg span of 12 feet. Some scientists believe it is an adaptation to the cold temperatures, slow metabolism, and the scarcity of food. In the deep, a larger body mass can survive longer without a meal. It is a slow, patient existence. There is no rush in the abyss. Consider the silence. Is the Mariana Trench perfectly quiet? Another myth to debunk. It is actually quite noisy, but in a different way. Hydrophones dropped into the Challenger Deep have recorded the low rumbles of earthquakes, the distant calls of baleen whales echoing down from above, and the churning of massive typhoons on the surface miles away. The trench acts like a giant acoustic funnel, capturing the slow, deep heartbeat of the planet. The bottom of the ocean is a landscape of soft sediment. This ooze is composed of the microscopic shells of plankton that have gently rained down from the surface for millions of years. This phenomenon is called marine snow. Imagine a continuous, slow-motion blizzard falling silently through the dark water. The seafloor is a quiet graveyard of dust, a soft bed made of millions of years of history. It is a deeply peaceful image. The philosophical impact of the abyss is profound. When we stare into the Mariana Trench, we are forced to confront our own insignificance. We are so small compared to the vast, powerful machinery of the Earth. But rather than feeling fear, we can feel relief. Our daily worries, our stress, our earthly problems, they mean nothing down here. The trench offers a profound sense of humility and a comforting embrace of scale. We must eventually prepare for the journey home. We have touched the very bottom of the world. We have seen the glowing galaxies of the deep, the resilient creatures of the dark, and the soft snow of the abyss. We carry with us the quiet strength of the trench, the knowledge that even in the darkest, most pressurized places, life endures. Life is beautiful, and silence can be incredibly fulfilling. The ascent begins. We slowly leave the Hadal Zone, rising past the hydrothermal vents, the ghostly snailfish, and the glowing bioluminescence. The water slowly transitions from absolute black to deep indigo, and finally back to the bright, warm blue of the surface. We break through the waves, greeted by the sunlight and the fresh ocean breeze. We have returned to our world, but a part of our soul will forever remain drifting in the peaceful dark of the deep. Our journey into the deepest part of Earth has come to an end. We have seen that the Mariana Trench is not a terrifying void, but a quiet, majestic sanctuary. It reminds us that our planet is vastly unexplored, holding wonders that rival the stars above. The deep ocean teaches us patience, resilience, and the beauty of silence. Thank you for diving into the unknown with us today. If this journey brought you a sense of peace, please subscribe, like, and share the wonder of the deep. Before you go, tell us in the comments, if you had a submarine of your own, which unexplored part of the Earth would you visit first?